Welcome to calendar time again. Today is Thursday. Let's get right to work. Today it is November 12th, 2020. I'll go ahead and make that bigger for you. November 12th, 2020. Capital N for November because it's a proper noun, you'll remember, and proper nouns need to have a capital letter to start their word. So November 12th, 2020 with a capital N. Okay. November, November. November, November. November 12th, 2020. I'm going to just re-zoom in on here. Let's fix this so it's a little less blurry. There we go. All right, so we're on lesson 44 today. And the number that we're starting with today is the number 1 in our counting. So make sure that you have the number 1 up there. We're actually going to start with our time today. Take a look at our clock. What time does my clock say? By now, I'm hearing you guys saying 11:30 and 12:30, or 11:30 and 12:30. But let's take a look at it. Remember that when it's in between the two numbers, it always falls back to the hour that's on its left here. Okay? It's always the smaller of the 2 hours. So between 11 and 12 is always going to be the 11 o'clock hour. So 11:30 or 11:30. So let me grab out a marker that you'll be able to see a little bit better than that orange. I need it to say 11:30. Excuse me. 11:30. Okay? Sometimes you see it written out like that. So I wanted to make sure I showed it to you. 11:30, which is 11:30. Nice work. I'm going to bring this back up so that we can do, sorry about that, a little bit of work with some money. All right. Today, we want to take a look at this amount of money. And hopefully you can see that that says 78 cents. So, I want to show 78 cents today. And I want to use the fewest dimes and pennies that I can. You'll remember that we've been talking about having pennies and dimes, right? And that number will help us with how many we should use of each. But it's also a really good idea for you to be able to see that. So today we're going to show it. If you have an extra piece of paper or a scratch piece of construction paper or anything, you could also be writing this out to give you extra practice. If you have a whiteboard, you could use your whiteboard as well. So we're going to show 78 cents. I'm going to start with dimes because my choice are dimes and pennies right now. And we want to get as close to the total as we can with our dimes because they're worth more money and it takes less of them. She tried to be sneaky. All right, here we go. Let's count by tens until we get as close as we can. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now, if I do another one on that 80, and is that too far? Yep, it's too far. So I cannot have any more dimes. Now I need to switch to pennies. I'm just going to put it underneath just so for the purpose of you being able to see it. So we're at 70. We're at 70 cents. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. Now let's go ahead and double check all of our money to make sure that we did it correctly. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78 cents. So, how many dimes and how many pennies did it take me using the fewest amount of each? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It took me 7 dimes and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it took me 8 pennies. Okay, so on your amount today for your money, go ahead and write 78 cents. That's what we worked through today. 78 cents. Now, today when we're counting, we're going to be counting by twos, but we're not starting with even numbers today. We're starting with our odd numbers. As you can see, we're starting with the number 1. Remember that when we're skip counting, whether it's odds or evens, there always is going to be a number that's missing, a number that we don't use. So 1, 3. I skipped using the number 2 because it's not an odd number. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Go ahead and finish those last 4. Let's check it. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. And if we made another box, we could even put 21 in there. Okay, nice job. Let's look at this pattern. Okay, what comes next? We're actually going to do 3 of them. You can have these written out for yourself as well. This is very good practice. Okay, having these in the boxes is like having a comma in between each one of them. Okay, knowing that they're each their own separate thing. Arrow down, arrow up, arrow to the right, arrow to the left, arrow down, arrow up, arrow to the right, arrow to the left. So this is an A, B, C, D pattern. There's 4 different things going on. Okay, so what goes after you go to the left? After I go to the left, I need to go down. So I need to have an arrow down. After arrow down comes arrow up, and then arrow to the right. We're going to have a second day of Thursday. Okay, this is Thursday here. And we have Thursday for our second box here. So still lesson 44, nothing's different about it. We're not doing another time, we're not doing another money. We don't have a secret number. But I want to use it so that you can work with the numbers 2, 5, and 7. 2, 5, and 7. Those are the 3 numbers we're going to use today for our fact family. Okay, now please remember that when you do this, when you're adding, your number that's the answer, it has to be the largest number. And when you're subtracting, your largest number is your top number. So can you go ahead and try this first? Can you do that for me? Can you use the numbers 2, 5, and 7? Can you make 2 adding problems and 2 subtraction problems with it, please? I'm just envisioning you guys working so hard right now. Good job. I'm envisioning some of you even going, well, Mrs. Freetix tells me my largest number has to be at the bottom. So I'm going to do that so I don't forget. And she said the largest number needs to be at the top for subtraction. So I'm going to do that right away. I can see some of you doing that. It's the same thing we've been doing every single day, right? And then she said I just have to use my other 2 numbers to fill them in the spots. Let's check. Let's see if you're not done, that's okay. Well, let's check it out. So 2, 5, and 7, those are the only numbers I can use. I could not use any other number. So what plus what is 7? Well, we know that 2 plus 5 is 7. I can only use 2, 5, and 7. Now I can switch my add-ins around, can't I? So I can say 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, now what about subtraction? Well, I started with my largest number of the 3, which is 7. And now I need to subtract. So 7 minus 2 equals 5. And 7 minus 5 equals 2. You did it. If that was hard for you, keep practicing those because that's something that is not going to go away. That's something that's going to keep going. Okay? So, with that being said, we have finished everything we want to do for Thursday for calendar. Keep practicing with your clocks. You can use these to help you with whatever you want. If you're struggling with them and you want some extra practice, you are welcome to obviously be using these to practice. If you want to say, I need to know what 12 o'clock looks like, then you go ahead and you make it say 12 o'clock. If you ask your parents to help you with time, and they give you some time, and they say, find 2 o'clock, right? Make it say 2 o'clock. Well, then I'm going to do 2 o'clock. What if they said do 2:30? Well, then my hour hand has to go in between the 2 and the 3. My minute hand needs to go down on my 6, doesn't it? Use these. Use them to help you practice, okay? Just make sure that when you're done with them, you do put them back into your bin so that they are nice and safe for when we do need to use them for class, okay? Now that we are done with this for today, can you please go ahead and make sure that it gets put back into your red folder. I'm going to put mine in my red folder too so I don't lose mine. And then we'll see you back here for calendar tomorrow. Have a great day.